tension in the air was thick from the moment Prince Harry stepped onto the set of The View. Clad in a tailored navy suit and noticeably tense shoulders, he offered a brief smile to the studio audience. Opposite him sat Sharon Osbourne, whose signature red hair was as fierce as her reputation. The producers had billed this episode as a royal reckoning meets pop culture clash, and they weren't wrong. Meghan Markle's name was already trending before the cameras started rolling, and the control room buzzed with anticipation. As Whoopi Goldberg gave the standard welcome and Joy Behar exchanged playful barbs with Prince Harry. Sharon sat uncharacteristically. Quiet eyes narrowed, arms crossed, clearly waiting for her moment. When the conversation turned toward mental health and royal responsibility, everything combusted. Prince Harry began calmly, speaking about his time in the UK, the pressure of tradition, and how stepping away from royal duties allowed him to protect his family and mental peace. Joy nodded sympathetically, even clapped at one point. But Sharon Osbourne scoffed audibly, leaning into her microphone. "Oh, come on, Harry," she snapped. "You ran away from responsibility, and now play the victim every time a pointed at you." The room froze. Even Whoopi's eyes widened, and Meghan McCain let out an involuntary gasp. Harry turned toward Sharon, visibly bristling, but trying to remain composed. "That's not fair," he said through a tight jaw. "You're repeating the same tabloid headlines I've fought against for years." Sharon tilted her head and smirked. "Well, maybe it's because they're not all wrong." What followed wasn't just a disagreement, it was a verbal cage match. Prince Harry raised his voice slightly, defending his right to exit an institution he felt trapped in. Sharon, arms waving now, accused him of hypocrisy. "You claim to want privacy, but you've done more interviews than I've had Botox." The audience laughed nervously, unsure whose side they were meant to take. Joy tried to intervene, but the train was off the rails. "There's a difference between speaking your truth and monetizing your pain," Sharon added, her voice sharp, enough to slice through steel. Harry's face turned crimson. "You don't know me, and you clearly don't understand what I've endured," he shot back. But Sharon didn't flinch. "No, but I know what accountability looks like. And I haven't seen much of it from you." By now, Twitter was erupting. Hashtags like hashtag Sharon vs. Harry, hashtag Royal Meltdown, and hashtag The View Explodes trended globally. Clips from the segment were being clipped and shared faster than the producers could approve. Meghan Markle's name started trending, too, with fans wondering how she was reacting to the chaos unfolding live. Back on set, Harry leaned forward, voice trembling slightly, trying to bring the tone down. "I came here to speak about mental health awareness, not to be attacked on national television," but Sharon scoffed again. "Then maybe don't live in a mansion in Montecito while telling the rest of us how hard your life is." The gasps were audible. Even the camera operators exchanged stunned looks. Producers were frantically signaling from behind the cameras, trying to cue a commercial break. Whoopi, clearly exhausted by the on-air drama, finally cut in. "We're going to take a quick break when we come back. Let's keep things civil." But civil was long gone. As the screen faded to a commercial for arthritis cream, Sharon was seen shaking her head and muttering something under her breath. Harry stood up, removed his mic, and walked backstage without a word. The audience didn't know whether to applaud, stay quiet, or leave altogether. Sharon sipped from her mug. Unfazed, "Some people just can't handle a real conversation," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. The control room erupted in disbelief. Backstage, a flurry of chaos ensued. Meghan's assistant was already on the phone with ABC, demanding answers. Prince Harry's team discussed pulling all future media appearances. Rumors started spreading that Meghan had been watching the segment live and was furious beyond words. A PR rep whispered to a producer that this would absolutely blow up in the UK press and they should prepare for international fallout. Meanwhile, Sharon Osbourne, cool as ever, retouched her lipstick in her dressing room and reportedly said, "That boy needs a reality check, not a media tour." Within minutes, TMZ, the Daily Mail, and even BBC News had picked up the story. By the time The View returned from commercial, Harry was gone. Whoopi announced that due to unexpected circumstances, Prince Harry had to leave early, but everyone knew that was a flimsy cover. Sharon sat smug, sipping her drink like nothing had happened. Joy looked visibly shaken, and Sunny Hostin silently scrolled through her phone. Fans who had tuned in expecting a spirited debate about wellness had instead witnessed one of the most uncomfortable on-air meltdowns in the show's recent memory. YouTube clips racked up millions of views within hours. One fan tweeted, "I came for the interview, I stayed for the roast." Asterisk, when ABC's social media team released the edited version of the interview online, they noticeably cut several of Sharon's harshest remarks. But raw clips continued circulating from audience members' phones, showing unfiltered exchanges that made the broadcast version seem tame by comparison. Late-night hosts had a field day. Stephen Colbert joked, "Prince Harry finally found someone scarier than the British tabloids, Sharon Osbourne." Jimmy Fallon quipped, "It's the first royal battle since 1776 and this time, we definitely won." Meanwhile, GMA teased they had reached out to Harry for an exclusive post-interview. Public interest had never been higher. The fallout didn't just rattle Prince Harry's camp, it sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. By midday, both British and American press were saturated with headlines like "Prince Harry storms off The View after on-air ambush" and "Sharon Osbourne versus the Sussexes, gloves off." Buckingham Palace, usually silent on such media spats, reportedly had no comment, but sources close to the royal household hinted they were not surprised by Harry's latest public fiasco. Across the Atlantic, Piers Morgan practically exploded with joy, tweeting gleefully, "Finally, someone stood up to the pampered prince. Bravo, Sharon." Meghan Markle, according to insiders, had gone completely silent, declining to post her usual Instagram stories or issue a statement, fueling speculation about behind-the-scenes panic. Asterisk, meanwhile, Sharon Osbourne's phone didn't stop ringing. Some congratulated her for saying what needed to be said, while others slammed her for publicly bullying a trauma survivor. Sharon, however, leaned into the moment, appearing the next morning on Good Morning Britain via video call, where she doubled down. "Listen, I don't hate Harry," she said, "but I've lived in the spotlight for 40 years and never played the victim. If you want a normal life, stop acting like Hollywood owes you a crown." Her remarks were clipped and went viral again. Meghan fans launched the hashtag shame on Sharon, while Sharon supporters fired back with hashtag truthbomb Osbourne. It became a digital battlefield. Even celebrities began picking sides. Bethany Frankel called Sharon brutally honest, while Chrissy Teigen tweeted, "Yikes, that was gross." Prince Harry's PR team immediately went into overdrive. By the following evening, Harry appeared on a pre-taped segment of 60 Minutes, trying to reset the narrative. "I didn't walk off because of anger," he explained. "I walked off because I won't let my family be attacked without pushing back." But viewers weren't buying it. Social media flooded with side-by-side videos showing Harry's growing agitation, and Sharon's provocations were dissected frame by frame like a courtroom exhibit. Meanwhile, ABC executives were reportedly holding emergency meetings, concerned the controversy could jeopardize future bookings. One anonymous producer was quoted saying, "No one wants the Sussexes on live TV now. It's a PR minefield." Behind the scenes, Meghan Markle was reportedly livid not just at Sharon, but at Harry. One source close to the couple leaked that Meghan had begged Harry not to appear on The View, fearing something like this might happen. She warned him. She said, "They're not our allies." The story gained traction after British tabloid The Sun reported that Meghan had cancelled several public appearances and was reassessing the couple's media strategy. Rumors even began swirling about a Netflix documentary being paused or quietly shelved. Meanwhile, Sharon Osbourne was being invited on every major platform from Hannity to Dr. Phil to relive the drama again and again. And she didn't hold back. "That boy is fragile," she said in one interview. "Not because life's been hard, but because it's the first time someone didn't clap when he whined." All this unfolded as The View scrambled to recover. The day after the clash, Joy Behar opened the show with a half apology. "Yesterday's conversation got out of hand," she said, "and we regret if anyone felt disrespected." But fans weren't buying it. Comment sections were flooded with either praise for finally holding Harry accountable or condemnation for turning a mental health discussion into a public flogging. Ratings, however, spiked. That episode became The View's highest rated. In 2 years, ABC quietly leaned into it, teasing more bold conversations in promos. Still, some staff reportedly felt uneasy. One anonymous crew member told Variety it stopped being a talk show and started feeling like a courtroom ambush. Asterisk, back in Montecito, Prince Harry was said to be deeply embarrassed. He reportedly canceled all interviews for the remainder of the month and turned down offers to appear on Colbert and Fallon. Meanwhile, Meghan's mother Doria was photographed visiting their estate, fueling rumors of family intervention. As the media circus raged, Sharon Osbourne casually posted a photo on Instagram with the caption, "Still waiting for accountability." It got over 1.5 million likes in 24 hours. At this point, it was clear the public wasn't just following the drama, they were addicted to it. Talk of book deals, revenge interviews, and surprise docuseries began bubbling across entertainment sites like Deadline and TMZ. Asterisk late night, comedians continued their mockery. Bill Maher joked, Harry came on The View for healing and left needing a therapist with combat training. Meanwhile, fans began digging into past interviews where Harry had criticized the press, comparing his words with his current media strategy. Memes surfaced showing Sharon dressed as a knight, slaying a royal dragon. Others depicted Harry photoshopped crying behind a "No Sharon Allowed" sign. The Sussex's media brand, which once thrived on carefully curated vulnerability, seemed shaky. Their carefully built image of principled outcasts was being chipped away by a single, unfiltered morning show clash. Asterisk, Sharon Osbourne, emboldened by public attention, announced a podcast series titled Unfiltered, Osbourne Speaks, with the first episode titled The Prince and the Pity Party. The teaser clip featured Sharon saying, "If you can't take the heat, don't bring your crown into the kitchen." PR experts speculated that Sharon had struck gold. She wasn't just trending, she was now rebranding herself as the one woman in Hollywood who dared to push back against the royal narrative. Book publishers reportedly offered her multi-million-dollar advances for a memoir sequel. Meanwhile, Harry's team issued a brief statement asking for space and privacy, a request widely mocked. Across late-night monologues and social media,